bottom of the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream. I'm at the bottom of the sea. I'm gonna stay down, down. I'm just stuck here in a dream.
Of the group work, and then you're going to come down to the stables and you'll start working with the horses, and it's nothing mandatory. Like our first session, we got out here and we just started grooming a horse. Patrick showed us how to groom a horse, and it was just fun. And as we're grooming a horse, we're telling our story.
You get to see
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy. Had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar. A straight-up omelet bar. And now look. My former intern's tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what-the-f moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Break him off some.
Yeah.
Broadcasting live. Fuck, already 31 August. Damn. Broadcasting on WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments and Periscope, Twitter, YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. Everybody knows we're on them.
Clown forward to get through the end of 2020.
Right, exactly. It's like
Another month down. Another.
This is the suck. This is the suck of the suck. We have to suck. This suck, and we have to suck. At any rate, well, thank you guys and gals for joining us tonight. And I appreciate your patronage, of course. Yeah. Hey. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something about trust in a minute. Here's my thing. How do I say this? Look, anything that's being said on U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, in inboxes, chats, or whatever, are secured information. If you ask us at any time, hey, or it's actually expected with the WTF Nation policy, that at any time that you submit something to us, we all ask that, or you ask us that, and it's to protect our individuals that reach out to us, that we don't disclose anything. Anything that goes in the inbox does not get disclosed. Anything that goes inside the WTF Nation chats or ad nauseum accounts, whatever you want to call them, they will not get exposed. You will not get, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that's our charter. As a matter of fact, that's how WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments operates. That is, I think, the key to our success is the trust. That trust that we have right there, that at any time you, a loyal listener or follower, will submit to something that has to do with a battle in distress, a veteran in need, a unit fucking you over, or toxic leadership being exposed, sharp, EO, whatever you want to broadcast or whatever you want to say that you want to keep it low because you know that we know that the unit's going to try to slam you, you could trust us. You could trust us to make sure that that information doesn't go out. However, we ask the same. We actually kind of, it's almost like a mutual honor. It's a code of honor. It's an honor code with us that we would want you to not say anything that we say back to you, in order to protect you, in order to ensure that you, the member of the WTF Nation, does not have any information. That's another thing too, is that we don't ask, or we think it's that, you know, we don't ask much other than that. But what we do think is it's pretty fucked up is when that's used against us, or held over our heads, or used in a way to postulate some sort of fucking clout that you think you fucking have because you don't like what's been posted. Especially when a conversation is generated between WTF and yourself, and you decide to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and say this because I want to. That's fucking wrong. Wrong as fuck, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. I don't mind saying that at all. No issues with that. I'll probably get all my creds pulled and shit for saying this right now, but I don't care. What I'm saying, though, is that we expect a reasonable amount of reciprocal trust. And there's some things that have been sent to us that we have been asked by units and asked by individuals, hey, help us out with this and help us out with that, and let's go ahead and do it. And we've honored that. In my hand, from what I've shown to some individuals, we have a lot of details, a lot of videos, a lot of incidents that we, the WTF Nation, U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, do not broadcast, because that mutual trust that you asked us not to do, and you asked us to relay it to that unit, and that unit is working with us, it is an implied trust that we're not going to blast it to the media. that we're not going to blast it to any organization that would tear the very fabric of the U.S. Army on what we share and let the chain of command handle it. With some, of course, some mutual poking there. You know, that little meme where the guy's poking, you know, come on, do something. We don't mind that. As a matter of fact, that's the charter of which we've built the reputation and our followership right now. Right now, I'm looking right now, last week, or I'd say we had 1 million. We had 1 million. Matter of fact, we had 1 million. No, I take that back. We had 11 million. Oh, I had a microphone cover, Maren. We had 11,635,774 engagements. We have reached 9,184 people. 184,941 people. So I kind of take our trust that we get, you know, reciprocal, you know, back and forth. I kind of take that seriously. I'm kind of going to be under the assumption that if you tell me something and it's within our chats, in our inbox, and it's within trust, fuck yeah, dude, we ain't saying shit. But you've really shown your colors and you've really shown yourself when you've taken a confidential conversation, I don't say confidential, but a conversation that's been said in confidence, and to say, oh, now I'm going to do this because I didn't like what was said here. And I was talking to a friend about this today. A good friend. I mean, he and I served together and all, you know, shooting the shit and stuff like that, and talked about the trust. Talked about how WTF Nation has trust with the Army on a lot of issues. There are some things, like I said before, that we have gone to the units that it would have gotten to the media that I'm talking would have won some Pulitzers for people. They would have been like, ooh, big hot news and all this other stuff. It kind of gets to the point where, you know, don't ask the devil to be your ally if you can't handle the way he torments the soul you want justice against. If you're going to get the ass on how we handle our business, but then, I don't know, a couple days later, 3 days later, ask us for help, hey, don't get the ass. Sorry, that's just what we're going to have to deal with. It's just like, kind of, you know, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's a funny line to walk, Flash. It's a funny line to walk. It's that whole charter of what we stood up for. That one private, that one female private. There is a female private that is out there that's getting harassed by her supervisor. Or a first sergeant that's getting berated by a toxic commander. Or a public affairs officer that really can't handle it. Or a commander that's really not knowing how to handle a toxic sergeant major. We can run the gamut. Videos and images of soldiers conducting themselves in equal opportunity and sharp incidences we have given to the command. Because why? Because it was that trust that was built. You don't really get to pick and choose how we assist you in this, or how we weaponeer our effect. That's just the way it's going to be.
They love to jump in our DMs, but
they do. No, you're right. And they
go run all scared when we actually, you know, bring up real issues.
You know, I'm really not going to. Everyone's going to start, hey, I was sending dick pics. No, that's not the dick pics. But it really is disheartening when you see somebody that you thought there were some individuals out there, that we thought we could trust, that take conversations that were said in confidence in our chats, and I just shake my head and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be fucking kidding me. I also want to make a shout out. Actually, I'm not making a shout out. I'm going to make a comment. I'm in a ranting mood. This should be Sergeant's time. I don't even know why I'm drinking Jack and Coke today. I'm supposed to be in a good mood, you know. I'm supposed to be hanging out.
Shoot, with all this rain here, I'm drinking a nice big old Guinness, and I got my hoodie on, everything. I'm already ready for fall.
Snap! We better secure them hoodies. Mm-hmm. So, we are a bunch of nerds on the staff. We really are. As a matter of fact, we have nerds on the WTF Nation radio side. We have nerds on I wouldn't say nerds, but we have comic book aficionados. All right, we have individuals that have and name your age from go through the age span here. We got the ages of I don't know, from I think the youngest person we have without revealing is around in their 20s, and the oldest is I'm one of the few oldest. Okay,
fucking old.
But we like Marvel comics. We like reading comic books. There is
Everyone
not
likes Marvel comics.
There's
Notice
not.
you didn't say DC.
There, no,
Taking
well,
shots right there.
we like that too. But I'm saying is that you notice that there is a. I mean, that's why we have Pop Culture Warrior. I mean, that's he's successful. CQ's kicking ass and he's knocking it out of the park. It's so awesome and all this other stuff. U.S. Army WTF Moments posted a picture, a comic, of Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther. As you all know, he recently passed away with a diagnosis of cancer. And there was a comic of him walking away from all the roles to include the Black Panther helmet, and then he was embraced with one arm that says, "You were the best, kid," and it was Stan Lee. And Chadwick says, "Thanks, Stan." I never thought I would see the fucking comments that I would see in the I don't know if they were fucking trolls, verified trolls or whatever, but I never thought I would see the kind of comments that I would see how we would pay respects to somebody who on his own time, who was dying of cancer, was visiting children that were dying of cancer in hospitals. That while he was undergoing all of his roles to portray these iconic individuals, that he was sick. And there's some individuals that have posted that we didn't do enough to put, it's funny that you guys post this, but not one post. Glad to see you can post this, but remain silent on Fort Hood. I'm going to tell you what. I will be more than happy. Matter of fact, I will take you down. I will walk with you. I will take you by the hand and show you how many times we posted something about Fort Hood.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused. I must have missed these comments or whatnot, because I know we've had a couple of rants on Fort Hood, several occasions. Not even around Vanessa Guillen, but before that.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
I'm already about to get pissed off. I don't want to caveat or
you want to piggyback
or anything. Or Phil and Franco or Bracco or Groucho or whatever is gonna, start shitting your pants or whatnot. But just a pig. It would behoove people to stop being assholes.
So. There was a question. There was exactly, and there was a question about some individuals out there saying how we posted that we didn't say enough about Fort Hood. Again, if you must be new, I'd like to welcome you to U.S. Army WTF Moments in the WTF Nation and WTF Nation Radio. We have posted a lot, thousands of hours, from the moment she was missing to including about Gregory Morales as well. We have a lot of broadcasting. We've shared it enough. So if you think that you're going to piss us off or you're going to disrespect Chadwick's freaking memorial on our page because, we are a bunch of nerds and we respect that, and he's a respected individual. There's a lot of individuals that don't realize that the Marvel comic universe, the Marvel movies, all of them, they've provided a lot of stuff for veterans. They've done a lot of stuff for the military. There's kind of a connection here when we're looking at it. So if you think we're remaining silent on Hood, let's go ahead and just scroll on the page. I'm not going to sit there and call you names and call you a shit stick that you are. But what I am going to say is that maybe you should.
We should call him this.
Well, you should go ahead and just check out what we posted on that. Along with this, I look at this when it comes to some of the memes. Also being told that we're profiting off of the death of Vanessa Guillen because we had posted a meme that said specifically, well, you posted this meme saying that Fort Hood is now a deployment. Kuwait is no longer a deployment. There was a meme of the louder with Crowder, and he's sitting there. Changed my mind.
Fucking Jesus, it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that I have a minimal chance of going back to Fort Hood because it makes me feel like, how the hell did I survive?
Yeah,
we're not even talking about just being stuck on Rancy or anything. We're talking folks that are just like, I'm just on Fort Hood, and now I'm lost in the middle of the training area, going to be attacked by some giant cow.
Right. Those Longhorns, man.
That place sucks, and it's such a huge fucking problem that today the gal. Agreed with Senator Duckworth about the sexual assault program on Fort Hood, and Fort Hood needs to be has a third-party investigation. I mean, everyone's starting to see what Soldier's been saying forever, that the fucking great place is not that fucking great.
Right.
Holy crap! But you're right. We're profiting off of people who
right.
We'd rather be in our ranks.
I know. What individuals don't realize, we've been memeing about Fort Hood since the first soldier was missing back in November. We were memeing about Fort Hood. People don't know this, but meme warfare is irregular warfare. How do you think movements and everything have been started? All? Do you think memes are just like whatever? There have been specific symbols within our society that have been removed because of memes.
Hashtags have started movements.
Right. Well, yeah, like the Arab Spring and all that stuff too. Yeah, right. So when we meme the hell out of it and it got enough attention, we think we weren't profiting off of the death of Vanessa Guillen. We wanted to make sure that everyone in the Army, in the Department of Defense, knew that there was something going on with Fort Hood and the case with Vanessa Guillen. I take offense to that. I mean, I rarely get offended. I mean, it's almost like I gave you $1 and you said I never gave you any money. Well, I take offense to that. You don't even. I go back to the metaphor about the devil. Remember, I said, I mean, just don't. You don't like the way we fucking handle justice, and you don't like the souls that we're tormenting. Don't get pissed off. It would do the cause a disservice, anyways. So, do we think that Fort Hood is a deployment? You damn right it is. Just like everyone says that going on the Merc around Fort Bragg is worse than Route Irish. And these are comments that highlight to ensure that an emotional nerve has been struck to highlight the true issues, which the true issue is that there have been more soldiers killed on Fort Hood than Afghanistan at this moment.
Yeah, Fort Hood has a fucking problem, and if you can't get your head out your ass for just 2 seconds to see that, maybe you're part of that problem. You're probably not, because you're probably too low on the totem pole to actually matter. But there's issues in Fort Hood that we keep getting swept under the rug.
Right.
I mean, and you know what? That they're going to take a look at, sharp practices on Fort Hood. I think it's a great fucking idea, because I'm tired, and you should be tired too, of anybody who is, sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, and reports it, and nothing happens. And that the people who are supposed to protect them, and we do all these safety stand-downs, we do all this training where they say, hey, I have an open door policy. We have these leaders that, when they meet their soul, I have an open door policy. I'm here, I'm here for you because, we need to win together. Then when it's time to actually step up and be a team player, fucking commands don't. Or battle buddies decide, hey, we don't need to be a team because I don't want to be involved, or whatever bullshit. And then we have people that end up somewhere in the middle of Texas, face down, because no one stood up to protect them. So fuck that. Fort Hood, oh shit, I never want to go back there. That place is scary. That place can't protect its own and doesn't want to protect its own. It makes the rest of the Army look like a bunch of shitbags.
I will say, I apologize for the count. Everyone's saying, oh, well, all of Afghanistan? No, there's not like thousands of soldiers killed. I misspoke. I don't want, of course, there's going to be people, I said that people got killed at Fort Hood more than Afghanistan. For this year right now. Might be off of a KIA or two. But the way I speak about it is not. I'm not taking a fucking. I'm not saying, oh, you're being callous about this. You should because this whole discourse on how we're speaking about stuff now. I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't like what fucking is being put out there, and by the individuals that have delivered the purpose and how it's being delivered, then I guess you should unfollow us. I really think you should. I mean, looking at all the freaking, I don't know, all the stats. All the casualties in Afghanistan right now. Someone pulled up. Thank you so much for sending me the status right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I don't know what these running numbers are. There must be like 9. 9. There we go. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I appreciate your sending me this. I don't have time looking at all these grids and maps and stuff like that. How many people have been killed in Fort Hood? I'm about to say the same, right? Almost 9 soldiers? So that's about equal. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some individual on social media. Well, actually, I see only individuals that killed it. Blah, blah, blah. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, I can't believe individuals would say this about us, saying that we were using memes to insult it and freaking profit off of it. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I'm gonna say this one more time for those of you who didn't catch it. Don't ask the devil to be your ally if you can't handle the way he torments the soul that you want justice against. When things are said in confidence, there is a reason for it. Fuck all that noise. Hey, you want to dogpile on us? Go ahead. I don't care.
Bring it on. We will outlast you.
I'm about to say,
We have been doing that for years.
I'm about to say for about a decade now. I think
they've tried to find us out. We've outlasted. They've tried to shut us down. We have outlasted. They've tried to badmouth us in public forums and professional settings. We have outlasted them and dropped the mics at a couple of them. Right, Ice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, there's some people that are playing by the rules. There's some that are trying to get ahead of things. There was one interaction a couple of weeks back about soldiers returning from deployment, and one of the commanders who is on Twitter jumped in, got a whole bunch of people in a group message, and started going, "Hey, this is what's happening. This is what we're doing." WTF folks brought up stuff that they were hearing from soldiers. Command was doing their job, taking care of it. Good interaction.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to talk. All I did was have to read because I just, we're doing good, doing the right thing. Did you see it? No, because they were taking care of the problem. We brought up what the soldiers were, people were saying from the soldiers' behalf. They took care of it. Those soldiers ended up getting taken care of.
Right.
That's what we want to see. We're not here to just make everyone look like a bunch of shitbags. The shitbags will do that.
We don't. Yeah, I'm about to say we just uncovered them. What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. You got a good point. We just highlighted them. We just found them for you. All this good order and discipline stuff. It's okay, but be proud of the work that you're working when you're in cooperation with us, and we're working in collaborative efforts to ensure that individuals in your formation are getting weeded out like that. You should be happy. I know I am. I know I got results. I'm just telling when I was, when I was in before I was the. But damn. I mean. Now I'll be honest with you. I'm really kind of I'm kind of happy the fact that the that I don't know, man, maybe it's a mark. I don't know. Maybe it's a badge we could wear. I don't care. Yeah, I'm just like whatever. But there's a lot of individuals out there that like to sit there and throw shade on us. I mean, hey, no big deal. I don't care. I really don't. No, people are just like, oh yeah, you're saying shit online, and you're saying this online, and you kids getting busted, and this, and this, and you know what? I'll be damned. You know what? You were in the United States military. I'm not. This is a Facebook page. This is an organization that you guys are coming to us for help with. We've done more than you. Yeah, Jose's not going anywhere, by the way. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anyone want to throw shit at me. You want to say it's racist or whatever. I don't think so. I really don't think that you can say. I really appreciate everyone that likes to stand up and tell somebody who is Hispanic that is doing the Jose stuff is telling them they're being racist by being Jose. Bro, I'm just shaking my head today. I was like, I guess it must have affected me because I'm already halfway down my glass of Jack and Coke. I'm drinking some cinnamon Jack tonight. It's pretty good. You ever had cinnamon Jack?
What kind of fucking witchcraft is that?
Exactly, man. It's good shit. Honey Jack Daniels or cinnamon Jack Daniels. Woo, baby. It's a warrior's drink. It's good shit. It's awesome. But at any rate, so how you been, Flash? Long time no see. What you been up to?
Well, I've been hiding out, drinking. It's been a lot of drinking.
Right.
Actually, it's been mostly drinking. Had some military things to do.
Yeah, I know. You had
Uncle Sam was calling my number, and I had to go and do not a damn thing. But
Uncle Sugar was asking you to hurry up and.
I sat around, played cards, drank, wore masks.
I'm about to say, isn't that what you do on
You know us, we just play cards. We're really good at spades at this point. That and learning how to breathe in a mask.
Yeah. Are you guys doing that stuff when it comes to the I mean, in your organization? Is it really that easy? I mean, is it everyone make it? Because I was going to ask you about that. I got some friends that I got some friends that freaking that you know, it's like, yeah, it's a pain in the butt and it's whatever, but they really don't get into, I don't know if they really are wearing their mask when they're working or something like that. But do you find it, has it been like the social distancing stuff since you've been doing your AT shit? Has it been like, okay, yeah, it's doable?
It wasn't so bad for us. I know I have a buddy of mine who's with another unit here in the Virginia area.
Right.
And he was telling me that they came up and they would start off, they'd have to wipe the surface areas, as soon as they got in. When they left, they had to wear the mask the whole time. They try to sit 6 feet apart. And here's the funny thing. He was telling me that as soon as they'd go out to eat, no one wore a mask.
but
So it's like what's the point? It's like, all right, cool, you all wore a mask.
But are you practicing? Let's see. Okay, now the CDC says the CDC said, and I'm going by everyone's like, oh, listen to the CDC. So the CDC said that you must mask up if you cannot help get within that 6 foot social distancing scale, right? But now everyone's like being forced to wear masks. I'm thinking, well, I thought if you only had a mask up if you couldn't help getting close to somebody, and maybe, so is it really that difficult? I mean, is it really? Have you had anybody with or you've known anybody around your area that had some COVID drama?
My buddy actually had a friend, or not a friend, one of his soldiers who got COVID. Asymptomatic, wasn't too bad, just tested positive.
Right.
Was fine. But it was kind of, he was saying that there was just kind of, it's kind of weird. Like the policies are in place, but unless you plan on actually never seeing anyone else, what's the point? I know for me, if I was farther than 6 feet away, I would take my mask off. And I had one officer who was like, Flash, you're always taking your mask off. You never want to wear your mask. I'm like, because I purposely stand away from everybody so I can pull my mask down, because what's the point?
Right.
But and then I heard there was some guidance going around for the Reserve National Guard that they were telling if you're inside, you have to wear a mask, like at all times. So, but then it brings me back to the point of, if you then go out to dinner as a group, like my buddy did, and you have food, you have to take down the mask. Can't just absorb it. This is, we're not like amoebas going, all right, cool, I ate the food. So you figure by like day 2 or 3 of people, a group of folks going to eat dinner, somebody would, if somebody had it, and luckily no one does. Apparently everyone's good, because my first thing was, hey, is everyone okay over there?
Right. Well, did it? I mean, with everybody having their, with their issues, and I mean, I hope your friends are doing okay. Is it kind of like is it what did they go through? What was their experience about saying they're not asymptomatic? Okay, so they didn't like feel any fevers, because like I told you, when me and the kid got exposed to COVID, and nothing other than they just told us to quarantine. So I'm just kind of curious. I don't know, like a simple sample study here, but what did he experience? Did he feel any fevers? Did he feel achy? What was his experience about it?
So I'm not 100% sure. The only thing he kind of ever told me was, I guess he just felt like kind of like dragged out, like almost kind of like I feel today with this whole this weird weather thing that's been going on through the East Coast and everything, like all this clouds and this shitty ass rain, and it's just kind of like you feel tired, not for really any real reason, but you feel tired anyways. I guess that's somewhat what he was feeling, but not I guess he could breathe pretty, a little hard on the lungs, but that's, not so bad. I know for us, they try to make us do a ruck march with our masks on. That lasts all of 10 minutes. Because I know I told us that I'll fall all the way back, and just follow you guys as long as I don't have to wear my mask. And then,
right.
All right, cool. Let's spread out.
Right.
It's like, cool.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's doing. It's sometimes idiotic, and it seems like it's ass backwards. My group, everyone's fine. Everyone, no issues. It's been over, I think it's been 30 days or something, and no issues have come up, thank God. So we're good, and if it makes the military feel better that they're doing the right thing, cool, because it seemed to work well enough, and that's what matters. I just hate, I'll wear a mask because I'm asked to by the government, hey, wear a mask, please, when
Right.
you're around people and
Right.
stuff like that. It makes people feel better.
Right.
That, and I really don't want to hear a Karen come at me because I had one that like I literally walked out of a building. I walked out of a grocery store, had wearing my mask with my kid. We kind of crossed the street to parking lot aisles over and was like, you should have your mask on. I'm like, not when I'm going to be driving in my car, and just kept walking.
Right.
Like, you know what? And I was kind of pissy, so I should have engaged and started a holy war, but I decided not to. But, I'm going to do what I need to in the place I need to. And, but I hate wearing a mask. Oh my God, it sucks.
I was just talking about this, how we've had individuals that again, if the store says you can't come in without a mask, and I mask up, no big deal. Yeah, especially like when you see individuals that are outside and they're getting screamed at by Karens about not having a mask, and they're like outside, dude. I just
You should have a mask on. Bitch, what am I going to get COVID from? You who just ran up on me?
Yeah, exactly. You literally just broke that 6 feet social distancing stuff. I just think it's funny.
So 6 feet, you might get punched in the face.
Right. Okay.
Pretty sure this tree ain't going to give me COVID. Fuck off.
So what's hot trending right now? This is going to be a Sergeant's Time thing, but I figure it's kind of hot, and I figured that we just want to just not beat a dead horse. That there is an army. The army is investigating a soldier right now who made a Holocaust joke on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. That fucker's going to burn.
He's going to burn. He's going to burn. Stationed at Fort Stewart. Second Lieutenant. Yeah. Second Lieutenant Nathan Freihofer. I just wanted to say
I'm
that.
not saying the name. Like, when I read the name, I went, oh, God.
Freihofer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, oh, Lord, really?
Freihofer.
This guy. But, there you go.
Yeah.
So, I haven't heard. There's a TikTok that's been going around. It was first broke. First time a lot of people saw it was Paul. How do you say his last name? I always butcher it.
Paul Zoldra.
Paul
Yeah.
Zoldra posted a TikTok of the second lieutenant Rhineland or whatever the fuck his name. Jesus.
Freihofer. Lieutenant Nathan Freihofer.
Freihofer.
Yeah,
from,
Freihofer.
3ID of the 18th Airborne Corps. Pretty much saying, apparently this guy is a TikTok influencer. Like, has like a million or 3 million followers. And said reason, he starts it off by going reason 1 million why or 1,000 why I will not get verified dark humor jokes, and proceeds to make a extremely terrible, not like oh my God he's so terrible, but like fucking terrible, horrible human being joke about Jewish folks and the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I won't repeat it. If you want to look, you can probably find it on Facebook or on. You probably definitely find it on Twitter. I won't repeat the joke because I'm all for dark humor. I think most military people just like.
Well, I think
this
okay.
takes it to a. This isn't dark humor.
This is. Well, I will make the. I will. This is a purely a quote. It's okay, Flash. I understand you don't want to do it. It's okay. But we have to understand that there's some context in here. So, quote. This is what he says. What is a Jewish person's favorite Pokemon? Asks Second Lieutenant Nathan Freihofer. And he says, quote, Ash.
Well, he said favorite Pokemon character.
Yeah.
And then said Ash.
Yeah. So making it obviously a jab and a point about ashes and the Holocaust, which he hid mass, like you said, he's got 3.1 million followers. And then followed up like, if you don't like it, you don't like it, fuck off, get off this page, like that, If you don't like, get the fuck out because it's a joke. While he was doing some Sieg Heiling. No, well, people want to say it's just like the individuals that no, he wasn't Sieg Heiling, he was just moving his hands around. Are the same ones that say that a noose is a fucking is a knot for fishing. 18th Airborne Corps, to which Freihofer is assigned, just tweeted that it's looking into his behavior. 3rd Infantry Division put out a statement that is looking into the matter. 18th Airborne Corps stated that we are investigating reports of a soldier assigned to 18th Airborne Corps allegedly making vile remarks on social media. And the statement in the video is completely inconsistent with our values. We review all facts and take appropriate action. Quote, the division, the 3rd Infantry Division, wrote, quote, 3rd ID is investigating reports of a soldier making vile remarks on social media video. The statements were made in video are not indicative of the values that we live by. Now, there's no place for racism or bigotry in our Army or our country, the division wrote in a statement today on Twitter. An investigation has been initiated into this matter, and the soldier has been suspended of any and all leadership authorities effective immediately pending the results of the investigation, unquote. He's also got an Instagram. His video, which has been removed from Freihofer's account and set to private, sparked a fury of conversations about white supremacy amongst U.S. service members. Paul Zoldris, with task and purpose, noted. The video was first sent to him by another officer who said, my 97-year-old World War II veteran grandfather helped liberate Dachau and would knock this kid's teeth in with ease. Now, there are other reporters and other individuals who have said the same thing, highlighting, quote, if your big takeaway from the Holocaust shows making Lieutenant is, let's use this as an example of what not to say or not what not to post on social media, then you're missing something, unquote, wrote Guns and America reporter Victoria Chamberlain. How about asking if perhaps we have a culture within the Army that perpetuates this normal language in the first place, unquote. Sergeant Major of the Army Michael Griston even said, this is completely unacceptable on social media or not. Racist jokes are racist, period. The Auschwitz Museum also called out.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote.
That was pretty big, too.
Yeah.
The Auschwitz Museum come out on Twitter going, pretty much he's, hiding behind the guise of it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's not a joke.
Jake Tapper from CNN highlighted it as well. He wasn't enlisted. He was, he was second LT.
He's supposed to be educated.
Right. I wonder. What trips me out is that
making all butter bars look bad.
Yeah, exactly. Freihofer is a German name that is like it's like a name for somebody who owns a farm. Freihofer. So
making us Germans look bad.
His name. I wonder if his name's Jewish. That'd be an interesting twist. He's making anti-Semitic jokes, and it turns out that he's Jewish. So a 2019 survey found that 36% of the troops responded to seeing evidence of white supremacist and racist ideology. God, I can't do that. I think it's because I have a glass of freaking Jack and Coke here. Racist ideologies in the military. A significant rise from the year before, which is 22%. Of 1 in 5 reported the same in a 2018 poll, according to results. Overall, troops responded to the poll, cited white nationalists as a greater national security threat than both domestic terrorism and connection with Islam as well as immigration. Wow, that's I was kind of chatting with Paul Zolder earlier before we came on the show, and he's like, dude, we were just like, dude, you're like, whoa. And what would make him think that saying all these jokes and everything that they wouldn't get it? And I want to know who his followership too. Now we've got some dark humor.
Is TikTok that kind of a fucked up place? They're okay with that?
I bet you the Chinese even said, "Holy crap, this is bad." You know what I mean? I bet you they even said the same. I'm just like, shit.
Almost a million views just off of Paul's Twitter page alone.
Yeah, dude. Just on his, and then of course, well, yeah, it's because he's had high profile individuals retweet it. I was like, damn, dude, you're kind of...
Yeah, the Auschwitz Memorial wrote, it said, he wrote, for legal reasons, this is a joke. What about moral reasons and respect?
Right.
Would he look into the eyes of a survivor liberated by the U.S. Army and tell them this? Nathan, if you see this, take this lesson to learn why you hurt real people and their memory. Fuck you, Nathan. Fucking...
Wonder what's going to happen to him.
Well,
I mean, obviously, I'm being facetious, but
it is ground. There are the catch-all articles on the article, under UCMJ. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not JAG. You know, if we want to get the JAG on, you know, to tell us exactly what, you know, could happen. I could think that there's some things that there's no place in there, and they can't not do anything. And as much as I hate to say you shouldn't bow to social pressure, it'd be kind of hard not to make an example of this.
No, you're right. No, you got a good point. There has to be a thorough investigation, of course. That's
which, you know, I was worried who was going to speak first. I was waiting for the U.S. Army, and I kind of like that the 18 Airborne Corps jumped in. I don't know if it was coordinated or not, but I kind of like 18 Airborne Corps jumping in, and they said the right things. That this is bad. I'm not quoting them verbatim. They said more. This is bad. We're going to investigate it and see, what's what. I can appreciate that, because you can't just immediately condemn the man, even though he's already condemned himself. But at least you're looking into it, and it's good that 3ID has, jumped in as well, because it's their boy, and they got to get, we say, come get your boy. 3ID is doing that, because holy shit. I guarantee I'm about to update my what not to do on social media slide.
Did you almost sergeant yourself by saying I guarantee it? Did you almost say that? Did you almost you literally I guarantee you sound like you were about ready to sergeant, mate. You're about ready to sergeant.
Come get your boy.
No, you guarantee it.
God damn it. I mean, this man just like this boy who just became
he's a kid. You're right.
Leading.
Yeah, he's a kid
leading your sons and daughters with special entrustment of soldiers. It's a fucking officer. Yes, we bust balls on butter bars all the time, and rightly so. But damn it, these guys are the ones that are platoon leaders and everything. And this fucker right here decides he's going to come out and just be the worst human being possible for what? A drop of clout? For just a hint of notoriety? Well, he's going to get his 15 minutes of fame all his way to fucking out of the Army.
Oh no, he's still getting he's getting more minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm. He's going to get all kinds, because the Army, if the Army is smart, they will make an example out of this man.
He's getting mad minutes right now.
All that extra time.
He's getting some extra minutes.
I wonder how many followers he's gained or lost. But the Army needs to make an example of this man. That's kind of shit that makes us on a whole look bad. We already have an image problem.
I'm about to say, man.
We already do. Part of it's not our fault, because people forget that we're trained to kill people and through coercion kick the shit out of other people to make them do what we want them to do. Nuts and bolts, that's what we do.
Right.
But we also need to be taking care of each other. While we're going to fuck up the enemy, we need to be taking care of our battle buddies on the left and right of us. This is not how we do it. This creates a toxic work environment. This creates issues. This is just fucked up in general, and people who think like that should not be in any kind of command, should not have their chance to put their hands on a weapon, and should not be wearing the fucking uniform. Fucking amazing. Like Audie Murphy wore the same uniform in varieties, of course. The American uniform, the soldier that this man is. Fuck that shit. Get the fuck out.
Right. I just. Now, of course, all over social media, this kid's getting dragged. We'll see what happens. More than likely, we will see some of the, some of the results. I am pretty sure that the 18th Airborne Corps commander and the commander of 3rd Infantry Division will release a statement of what happened to him, or you might see him getting court-martialed. Never know. But at any rate, we're gonna take a break right quick, and right quick. And so you can guarantee it. We're taking a break.
More of this.
I gotta get some more Jack and Coke. So everyone take a break. Smoke if you got them in shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue. hopes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through, skin is brown. Nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life is never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Constellation theme, mapping stars they're meant to be. Geminis are free of suicidal kings. This misty maze of me, so obvious yet never seen. Feeling though the fog will lift to find me lost at sea. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life is never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? Myself and I am so lost in beautiful, far away from life. But I want your visible feeling to be mine. Oh, I just don't get it. When will your heart beat with my mind? Oh, I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life that's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me?
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Man, part 2 of the Monday edition. Man, I hope we got all that off our chests. There's more to still talk about. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Broadcasting live from the Functional Welfare Center of Excellence. Oh, man. On God. Yeah. God, dude. Anyways, let's go ahead and just lower the music right away. All right, so this is the WTF Nations Decides. Dun, 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 dun. Are we supposed to be doing like some sort of serious political music or something like that? Or something like that, or have some crazy like news. Hey, shout out to Fox News for stealing our idea for graphics. Thank you.
Douchebag.
Thank you for stealing our shit. We kind of like the fact that I guess they say the imitation is a form of flattery, but it's okay. We noticed that you kind of took our shit. At any rate, so.
Oh, and on that note, Glenn Beck's still a fucking douchebag.
Damn, dude, he's not even. I don't think he's on Fox News. He's not even on Fox News
he's on
anymore.
the Blaze still. And then it's Glenn Beck, and who's the other douchebag? Who's the guy we because I can't stand that they actually hired him for as long as they did.
Who?
And then who's the other person who had a conflict of interest who still was just on the airways doing his thing?
Oh, that narrows it down. We're talking about Sean Hannity or something like that.
There we go. That's the other
Glenn Beck. Don't shit on Glenn Beck so quick just yet. I mean, we still have some work. There's still some stuff that, yeah, not yet. You can crap on him afterwards, I guess. I don't know. He's good good in other things.
Sean Hannity is corrupt, but just not as crazy as Glenn Beck.
Well, is it crazy? Is it? We start wearing the freaking tinfoils and shit. Anyways, so for.
Sorry, that's the other crazy guy.
You're talking about Alex Jones.
God bless.
Right now, we got the frogs out here. That's fucking hilarious. At any rate, so for a WTF Nation Decides 2020, a real quick poll has been released from the Military Times, and it states that Trump's popularity slips in the latest Military Times poll, and more troops say that they'll vote for Biden. I'm saying they're saying this. A report out of the Military Times states that the latest poll shows that a continued decline in active duty service members' views of President Trump and a slight significant preference for the former VP Biden in the upcoming November election among troops surveyed. The results collected before the political conventions this month appear to undercut claims from the president that his support among military members is as strong thanks to big defense budget increases and, in recent years, in promised moves to draw down troops in overseas conflict zones. Are we still in Afghanistan right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. We still in Syria right now? Yeah, in
sure
Iraq and something. Okay, just make sure.
Shit, I think we still have people in northern Iraq.
We still have people in Kosovo, dude. What are you talking about?
I thought that was a holiday spot. I didn't realize that was an issue.
No, we can't. Can we say it's a deployment? I don't want people to get pissed off on social media and say it's not a deployment. K4 still rocking. Surveying active duty troops in partnership with the Institute for Veterans and Military Families at Syracuse University has seen a steady drop in troops' opinion of the Commander-in-Chief. The latest results, based on 1,000. See, this is only 1,000? 1,018? Yeah, 1,000.
It's a hard thing to get a sample size from.
Right, it is, man. It's nearly half the
people.
Nearly half the respondents.
40 from Fort Lewis.
Fort Lewis. based on this, of the respondents, nearly half of the respondents, at 49%, had an unfavorable view of the president, compared to the 38% who had a favorable view. So basically, right now, one of the questions was, if the presidential election was held today, whom would you vote for? Believe it or not, surprisingly, the third party got 12%, 12.8%
what
of that poll. Yeah,
hint.
Third party, hint, Joe Jorgensen, and and the crew. Donald Trump came in second with 37.4%, and Joe Biden came in and at 41.3%. So, of course, this is the poll that was only of 1,018 troops, and of course, I don't even know what's the sampling area we have here, but the unfavorable number matches what the earlier Military Times poll said in late 2019, while favorable total slipped just under 42%. Look, the favorable or unfavorable view of the President Donald Trump, and this was August 2020, and 42% have a very unfavorable, 24.5% have a very favorable, 13.3% have a favorable. 12.3 again. There's that 12, that 12.3, that 12, 13% again. 12 for neutral, and of course 7.9 have a unfavorable. It's kind of crazy, dude. That let's go back to that freaking third party. That's kind of crazy, dude. I don't think I've ever seen a poll that it's had third party involvement or polling, at least, I should say. Now, of course, Peter Weaver, a White House advisor to former President Bush, now works at a political science professor at Duke University, said, it's fair to say that Trump is not as popular as Republicans' nominees have been going in the past about in this group. But the bottom line is that in 2020, Trump can't be claiming to have overwhelming support of the military, unquote. I think this is kind of like a.
It's always weird when people want, like, oh, I have full support of the military. Like, are you hoping that there's not a coup or something? Like,
well,
what exactly?
I don't even know what. Yeah, what do you? That's I don't. Yeah, that's kind of.
We're people, like, we just happen to serve in the army.
To get to that point, yeah. To get to that point, I don't know. Is it something that what is considered support?
Well,
I mean,
the military likes me, so in case shit happens,
yeah,
the
they support
won't
me.
Try to overthrow me.
Right. They won't support me, or they will support me. Which is it's kind of weird because and you mentioned that. It's a good point.
It's a weird thing to be like, going for. I need the military support. Well, yeah, but...
the National Gallup poll of Trump's job performance conducted just before the political conventions found that 55% of Americans had a negative view of the president, and 42% approved of his work. And Fever, of course, former White House survivor for W. Hey, how you guys doing? So that any poll of service members is important to remember that those broader public views also play a factor. So how service members view President Trump, the commander-in-chief, seen a decline in support from 2016 to 2020, going from went pretty favorable at a 46.1% down to 37% in 2020, and then unfavorable. It started off at 2016 at 37% and increased to 49.9%. Peaked up, of course. I think there's a lot of, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, There's only 1,000 people sampled, though.
I know, it's kind of a small.
Yeah, that's
to be
kind of
saying
like
the military thing is slipped.
Right.
Okay, for 1,000 people, he's second place.
Yeah, I really don't see.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not rooting for the man, but I'm I'm trying to be objective here.
Right.
It seems like
1,000 people, though. I mean, 1,018. I'm sorry, I don't want anybody to fucking know. I said only 1,000 people. So real quick, upon military groups, the support for president varies among the military demographic groups. White non-Hispanic is 43.3%, which I think that's skewed. I think that's skewed because the military considers white people Hispanics, even if they are non-Hispanic. Trust me, there's some polling there. I'm kind of pissed off that if there's race and then there's racial background, there's ethnicities. There's a bunch of polling stuff in there that I think sometimes sways back and forth. 39.1% women, 38.7 enlisted, 37.7 men, and they also separated it between 35.1 officer with 24.3% minorities. See, that's kind of skewed already. I don't think it should matter. I think men and women, officer enlisted, should be together. It shouldn't matter. Then, of course, unfavorable is off the charts. Unfavorable is almost to the 51%, 54% for women, 47% for enlisted, 49% for men, 59% for officer, and 45.6% for minorities. Some of the election views, of course, have been tainted back for it. Real quick, guys and gals, don't be in uniform when you're doing any stumping for the for them.
Please, God, don't be like those the National Guard folks of the Solomon Islands and.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Samoans, the Samoan soldiers.
Mm-hmm. There we go, that one.
This is a damn good drink. Election views. Fever said that the policy disagreements, quote, do not necessarily show that troops are beginning to think more like the Democrats, but instead they're thinking. They aren't thinking like Trump Republicans, unquote. And of course, this poll goes way back in the day. The election 2020 versus election 2016. If the election were held today, in 2016, what was asked, everybody said, 40.5% of the military said, people polled, of course, said Donald Trump. 20.6% said Hillary Clinton, and the third party was 34%, dude, 34%. See, I don't remember hearing those results.
Somebody kept those under wrap.
Right. I don't recall hearing any of the third party results. The third party had 30.43% polled. I mean, had favorable. Dude, they would vote third party. That's incredible. What's his name? It was freaking Johnson. The guy who had issues
Gary
with
Johnson,
Gary Johnson,
who faked a heart attack on stage when someone was like, well, smoking marijuana causes heart disease or something like that, and he had a heart attack and kind of mockingly fell on the stage, and it's like, yes, blessed be.
What the hell are you talking about? I don't remember that. But Gary Johnson,
You don't remember that? Oh.
Well, so Gary Johnson, what I'm saying though is that
People
Gary,
got on him because he didn't know exactly where Aleppo was.
right, exactly. That's what I remember.
9% of fucking Americans didn't know where fucking Aleppo was.
Right, exactly. But that is pretty surprisingly though that there was that much of a percentage rate for a third party though. That for at the time 2016 nobody knew that. Everyone thought it was specifically going to be pro-Trump and pro-Hillary, and that's it. No one really had a high percentage, but 34.3% is a pretty high average. I mean, it beat Hillary Clinton out in the freaking poll. 20.6. 20.6% is what she had. So it was 40.5% for D. Treasy. Third party was 34.3%, and then 20.6 for Hillary Clinton. I mean, come on, dude. I did not know about this poll. This is kind of crazy. Not kind of crazy. It's quite
astounding.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty surprising. And then, of course, now, discussing the August 2020, everyone's more. I think it's neck and neck. I think there's some sampling error here, but 37.4% and 41.3% for Biden. That's neck and neck for the two. I think there'll be some whatever. But I mean, you get a good point, Cos. It don't matter when the polls happen, and they're open. They're good to go.
Oh, see, you stole my line because I've been waiting for a good spot to say that because Cos is exactly right.
Right.
Like these polls, like if the last election has proven anything, these polls matter dick. They never really actually are as accurate as people like, because there's tons of people, and they said that, and I forget. I'm sure it's MSNBC. MSNBC was saying something but a little more crass by saying people who will say they're not going to vote for Trump will secretly vote for Trump. Like, well. That's going to happen because people, it's one thing, you're going to have, who are you voting for? It's like, fuck. I'm going to, if I don't vote for what everyone else says I should vote for, I'm going to get yelled at. But
I'm not saying shit what I'm voting for.
You and the ballot.
Yeah. I'm not saying shit. There's only going to be really, there's going to be very, I'm not going to say shit. I'm not gonna say shit. I'm going to. I think anything else. I think nobody else will say shit right now. They should just go ahead and say who they want to vote for, or not want to vote for, and support whoever. But you shouldn't be dragged. I mean, or you shouldn't be. I should say, called out. Are you gonna vote for ICE? Are you gonna vote for Flash? That's kind of messed up, dude. To kind of put somebody on the spot for something like that. That's just me, though.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Who you gonna vote for?
I'll say on election day, like after I voted.
After you voted? Okay.
Like after I voted, because I don't want to influence anybody.
Yeah, right. No. I know. No, wait. I don't want to sit there and, U.S. Army WTF moments. Yeah, exactly. And U.S. Army WTF moments, we're the one that called the election.
Flash is going to vote for candidate X. I guess I should too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Next thing you know, hey, man, that's bullshit.
Yeah. No one's really going to care, but, for integrity's sake.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to? Yeah, I don't want to say that shit. And next thing you know, freaking, I'm going to have, the big news networks getting pissed off at us because we're saying we all voted. I don't know, 3 million people followership, and we have a reach, I don't know.
Radio hosts said they voted.
Right.
Castrate them all.
We have, as I'm saying, we have 11, like I said before earlier, we have 11,635,774 engagements that we just wrapped up on. 11 million people. I mean, I think we could say, vote for so and so. We could actually throw them. I mean, we can actually just like meme the hell, or just talk about another candidate. Just write in so and so. I wonder how the write-in stuff would go if we were to do something like that. If we were to sit there and say, vote for, like you said, vote for X, and he was like, did you just say like vote for X? Yeah, but you don't know who you're voting for. In other words, you're going to say vote for X. That's what's happening, and then vote, and then X wins the election, and then X walks through like a freaking, like he's like WWE down a ramp, with fucking sparklers and shit behind him, and freaking music in the background playing and shit like that. That's how the election should happen.
Fucking sparklers and everything.
Yeah, exactly. With some pyrotechnics going off, with some Hulk Hogan. That'd be funny as shit. But you're right. I could just imagine everybody's like, yeah, me too. Yeah. It's bad enough that they say the WTF Nation is a bad influence on everybody else, but can we get the election going? I mean, could we really bust on the election and see what happens? I'd be curious.
I like to think I'm that influential.
Yeah, I like to say I like to think that too, but
I'm not that big of a douchebag. I'm going to say that I'm okay.
right. Yeah.
But still, for fairness' sake, I'm not. I will be happy if somebody asks me who you vote for. I have no qualms about who I'm voting for.
Right.
I'm just not going to say beforehand, just because I don't want any inkling or anything, even like shit hits the fan or any kind of a reason for like, oh well, WTF, nope, negative. But outside of that,
Ted on
election day is coming. Make
Ted
sure
on,
you vote.
Ted on YouTube says, "Why? Yes, X. No, I'm trumping." Who knows, man? Like I said, I'll be honest with you, that'd be kind of because look, I'll be honest with you, man. Let's get down to it. None of these. They've all been screaming at each other and telling how everyone's bad. I've yet seen any policy, but I have seen some policy passing that wasn't done by any other administration. I really can't believe that individuals who've been in office so freaking long, and I'm talking about members of the Democratic Party, can actually do something when they've been in the party so long. They've been, you know what I mean?
This man is, if Joe Biden is elected, he will be what, 87? Could be like if he was to run for for a second.
He will be the same age as Ronald Reagan when Ronald Reagan left office. If he were to win.
Dude, have you seen any the videos of him trying to talk?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. I'll be honest with you. I really was hoping for I don't know, how come Democratic Party didn't have like a JFK? Have that type of.
They had a JFK.
Well, they did have. Yeah, right. He got shot. You're right.
Then there's a second one.
No, we're gonna get banned. Too. Are we gonna get banned for Dark Cuber for saying that JFK got shot? Is that gonna hurt people's feelings on Twitter and fucking social media? But no.
And then his little brother got shot too.
Yeah. So let's talk about this then. Let's talk about this right now. Is there anybody that could have run in place? Now I'm talking about instead of Biden. Think about it. Could somebody have gone in there? Yeah.
Any other fucking person.
Right. I'm looking at all the candidates that could have gone, that could have done it. Except for,
and we talked about this already. The political party that prides itself on its diversity and its inclusion, and to the point where it's super inclusion and super diversity, had a gay man, many women on
Tulsi Gabbard,
of color,
Kamala Harris,
who were also up there.
Elizabeth Warren.
You had and then you had Klobuchar. You had Elizabeth Warren, of course, and you had I think you mentioned Tulsi Gabbard, and Kamala Harris, who's now the vice president candidate.
Right.
I mean, you had a ton of women. You have a ton of women of color. You had Cory Booker was up there.
That's right.
That's right. And and there was the guy from I don't think he was out of Florida. He was the young Hispanic male who was also running. You had all these people. Then you had
Castro or something like that. Yeah.
There you go. That's it.
Castro, I think.
And then you had Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Old white guy. And what do you call it? And Bernie Sanders, old fucking white guy.
Yeah.
And what do you guys get? The old fucking white guy.
Everyone was saying that, smash the. What were they saying? They're like, smash the patriarchy and also the crap, and they should make sure that everybody else is.
Who I still think would have been a great candidate and could have won. Hell, at least somebody was like, at least we dodged Elizabeth Warren. I'm like, yeah, you're right, because you lost to the fact that you got Kamala Harris as the vice president.
Yep.
I mean, you could have had.
You could have had.
Anybody.
Right. What I thought was going to happen is that and this is just me. I thought it was going to be Cory.
Showed up to the party late because he forgot where he was going.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think had the ticket gone, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, I think that would have sealed it. And it's just me. And the reason why is because the base. Both on each side, you had Kamala Harris on California, you had Cory Booker in New Jersey, so it was like a coast-to-coast, East Coast, West Coast unification of their party values or whatever, but it would have been, I think, a more refreshing and a more, I don't know, man, the Biden thing, even if I was a Democrat.
Of the dog and pony show that Democrats have put on. At least Republicans, when the Republicans, ran in 2016, it was old white guy, 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 white woman, white woman, white woman.
Right.
I mean, there was Herman Cain, rest his soul. And,
Right. Yeah,
you know,
there was
and
him.
then,
Because you had
Rubio down in Florida.
Yeah, you had Rubio. Yeah. Well, you had what's her name? You had Kirsten Gillibrand.
He's Hispanic, but he's
from
not.
Yeah. No, that was Ted Cruz. You had Kirsten Gillibrand from New York. She was, she would run it. I didn't want to see Bernie Sanders. Sanders. I didn't want to see Joe Biden. I wanted to see some fresh, some more younger. You know what I mean? Because at least, I don't know. It just felt like to me. It just felt like it would be more exuberant.
How do you let the man who showed up late to the party, who wasn't even on the primary ballot for all of the states because he fucking missed deadlines and shit?
But what about Bloomberg?
Forgets where he parked his damn car.
What about Bloomberg?
Fucking Bloomberg.
Bloomberg went in there late,
big time, because he had money.
Right.
He walked in and said, "I'll pay. Don't worry about it." And people started freaking out, like, "Oh my God, it's gonna take all of our guns!" Like, he ain't gonna go far.
No,
he's a hobbit. He can't even walk that fast. He's fine.
He's gonna take a gun.
Another old rich white guy.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
hey, we skipped all that when we're trying to be the party of inclusion and diversity.
Right.
We're only diversify. We're going to give you the opportunity, but we don't actually want you to be in charge.
Well,
that's what Democrats told me. Hey, we want you in the playground, but when it's time to get on the swings, you're not invited.
Right. They had some so total of the individuals that ran. They had, let's see. Let me look at my list here. They had, let's see. Hey, I'm gonna share you the link as well. Flash, that way you can check it out.
Send that.
Yes, send the link. Here we go, Flash. I'm gonna send you the link. Give me a minute here. My
Burke sound like Mickey Mouse getting beat up.
My DMs are getting blown up by all this freaking story about TikToks.
Fucking TikToks.
What do you care about TikToks?
I want it banned just not for any real reason, just because I'm tired of hearing stupid people being.
You're tired of hearing about the TikToks. Let's see. There we go. So what I was gonna say is that there were individuals that were running, but we didn't even know that were on the ticket. That they had withdrawn. There was even a soldier, Richard Ojeda, Eric Swalwell, Mike Gravel, John Hickenlooper, John Inslee, Seth Moulton, Kristen Gillibrand,
Tom Stair, another old white guy.
Yeah, Bill de Blasio, Tim Ryan, Beto O'Rourke, Wayne Massam.
We forgot Andrew Yang.
Yeah, we did.
We had an Asian up in here.
Yeah, so
it was like, I want to give you $1,000 a month.
Right.
For every month.
Think about what's just happening right now with
we just went fuck.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
He's sitting there going, "Hey, I came up with that idea, you assholes."
Yeah, just think about that too, man. How that all ran.
Julian Castro, that's who we're thinking.
That's who. Yeah, Castro. Yeah, that's what it was. Wasn't there two of them? Is there two Castros or just one?
I think there's only one. Oh, don't forget Beto, who thinks he's Hispanic, but he's not.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what his name was. He just went by Beto O'Rourke.
Bill de Blasio, fucking douche. Tim Ryan, that guy looks like a frat boy.
And then let's see, we had Andrew Yang, Michael Bennett, Deval Patrick, Tom
Eric
Steyer.
Stallwell. That election was so quick.
Yeah, exactly. Pete Buttigieg.
I'm here. I'm going to take your assault rifles, and now I'm leaving.
And we got see you. Amy Klobuchar, Michael Bloomberg, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard, Bernie Sanders.
An American Samoa.
Yeah, and then of course coming in, flying across the top rope without even just whatever, it was Biden. He just came in. Yeah, I'm in.
It's like, oh man.
I'm in. What am I supposed to be doing?
I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to come in here and
I watched a great video. Somebody had mashed up all of his just his weird gaffes, and I tell you what, they're just weird. I'm sitting there going, oh my god. Donald Trump isn't a present to watch and talk to the media at all, anyways. But he's just it's a different kind of, oh my god. Joe Biden just it's like, oh, grandpa's getting old.
That's some cringy shit, isn't it? It's like elder abuse, man.
I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, someone take him back. I'm waiting for a nurse to go, no, Joe, come back here.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be.
But you're right. It's just to the point
with that kind of issue because But every time he talks, I'm sitting there going, "Someone get their grandpa out of here," because he's on national television and he don't even know what he's talking about.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's really sad, man. It's like I wanted some exuberance. I wanted to see the other party spar with Trump. like I said, I like watching dumpster fires.
Is older than him and still has like he's still there, even though he's fucking crazy with his fucking weird hair, like he's like he's Albert Einstein. He's talking with his 2 fingers, like he's Lewis Black, like he's fucking rich people. I mean, but he still said, like, when he talks, he sounds fine. He sounds like Lewis Black with with like cotton balls in his mouth. But Joe Biden's just like, and
I don't.
Yeah,
bro. I don't. I'll be honest with you. I don't think.
The reporter starts talking, goes, and then she started, no, you go ahead. It's like, no, bitch, they're trying to talk to you.
Yeah, the thing is that there was a video out there, and I'm trying to find it. Somebody said there was, and they're gonna look for me. And look, I didn't have time to Google it. But I guess there was a video where he was talking to somebody overseas, and he fell asleep, and the mic went up, and the camera went up, and he was asleep. and I'm like, oh, dude, you gotta give me that video, because I think they're trying to take it down or something like that, because it was just him sleeping. Again, I wanted to see some exuberance. I want to see I thought the Democratic Party was going to have some younger, fresher, and all this other shit. Not this.
It's supposed to be. I mean, they had Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was like the young face.
Yeah.
They had Amy Klobuchar.
Yeah, dude.
With the younger face. Tulsi Gabbard, who's only 39.
Yep.
And still foxy as hell.
Hey, dude, can we say that? Can we talk about
she's a good-looking woman.
She's a very attractive. She's a very attractive woman. Is that what you're saying? Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got your fly. I see some flash. Okay, woo woo. But my point being is that she at least, again, there was a younger crowd, and even with Andy Yang, there was a younger crowd. What do you think about this no debate shit, dude? They're talking about right now.
Nancy Pelosi's like, fuck no debates.
Yeah, what do you think about that shit, dude?
Democrats originally came out and said that the Republicans don't want to debate, and that the right doesn't want to debate and stuff like that. And they come out and go, and then somebody probably went up to Nancy like, hey, we don't want to debate either, because Joe would have to talk without a teleprompter. And Nancy's like, no debates. No,
right,
no.
dude. I don't.
Turn off the camera. I never want to save this fucking election. Don't let Joe talk.
I'm telling you, man. That right there is the. But that's the. Bro, that's a new game. Exactly. No debates. No debate drinking game. But no, that is the foundation of our elections, though.
How many times does Donald Trump stand behind him like a shark, like he did to Hillary Clinton?
Because you'd be in jail when he told her that line. That was like a mic drop. That was.
Powder quick or something. Go on now. Over there, like, you're pretty. Shut up, Joe. Sit down.
Again, bro.
Joe, we're about to come back from commercial break.
Let's go.
Wake up. He's like, no, we're putting the end to that shit.
Is it required? Is it required for the election? Must you have?
It should be a fucking like that. If there's ever anything like, if there is no debate at all for this presidency, that needs to be a fucking constitutional amendment. That's bullshit. You want me to vote for the leader of our country off of what? Shitty ass ads?
Right.
That I get to see at the gym now?
Right.
Yeah. Hey, good. Not good to know Donald Trump's a douchebag. Good to know Joe Biden is a child sniffer or whatever the fuck he does and is senile. Cool. Oh, Donald Trump is belligerent and stupid. Oh, Joe Biden is just old and stupid. Cool. I actually want to hear it and see it for myself.
No, what I'm saying is that I everyone's saying they're not having it now. Scheduled, of course. What's supposed to happen? What's supposed to happen is that everyone's blaming the Rona for this. Everyone's talking about the coronavirus being the reason why you cannot have, or we shouldn't have the debate.
Part on the stage, you already have whoever the fuck news anchors and stuff are going to be 1,000 miles away anyways,
right?
And just have no one in the stands, so you have no one to play to, which will be even better. See, that's the thing. Everyone does that's why these debates take for fucking ever. Is they get these like they say something like quippy, like and Joe Biden's stupid, and then hear and they hold that applause for 1,500. Now they won't have to. Joe Biden's stupid. You hear cricket.
Are they going to do it like sports? You know how sports has, like how they do sports. Because that's how they're doing sports right now, right? And if you're watching, I mean, we're gonna get into the sports page in a minute. But isn't that how they're doing sports already? They're doing sports like they're having cardboard cutouts of people and then piping in like cheering.
They're taking from MLB The Show, which is a video game for the PlayStation.
Right.
They're actually using the audience, the stadium noise, and actually using that as the noise in the actual stadium itself. They should do the same thing, just like randomly go, "Woo! Oh!"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna go, "Oh snap! Oh shit! Oh!"
It'll be one fact checker in the stands going, "That's bullshit."
Right.
That's true.
See, that's what I'm saying. So scheduled tentatively. It is scheduled for September. The Commission of Presidential Debates will host 3 presidential debates. One vice presidential debate later this year. As a tradition, that the debates will be held at universities. The first presidential debate, this is when the incumbent President Trump will face off with Joe Biden for the first time, will be held on Tuesday, September 29th in Notre Dame, in Indiana. In late July, the institution withdrew from the hosting due to concerns about the pandemic. So, the first debate will now be held in Cleveland, because I guess they withdrew. But, dude, I'm telling you, man, a second debate is now scheduled for October 15th.
There'll be a debate. Nancy Pelosi doesn't get to make those decisions. She just thinks that he shouldn't debate. But Joe Biden knows he cannot expect to win. I mean, hell, we didn't really start seeing political ads up until like a week ago or something.
Right.
Like a week or two ago that I finally started seeing political ads or anything.
Right.
I mean, honestly, what is Joe Biden isn't like acting, isn't jumping out there like someone who's ready to take the reins from current administration.
I think he's being guided, dude. Like, is he
He
like,
is. And they, if he's smart, which I don't know if it'll work out in his favor, he needs to debate. He needs to, if he really wants to take the job, he needs to show how his vision for the U.S. and his policies, which we're not going to get because they're going to like take personal attacks at each other because that's what they always do.
Tina hot dog eating contest? Haven't played Call of Duty? Have Army Esports? Is that what you're saying?
Madden 21 just came out.
Yeah.
Neither one of them gets to be the chief.
If you go inside of the information, of course, that we were talking about is www.debates.org, which is the Commission on Electoral Debates and the nonpartisan nonprofit Commission on Presidential Debates announced that the sites and the dates for the 3 presidential debates and 1 vice presidential debate during the 2020 general election. So again,
who wants to see that bullshit?
What are you talking about? I want to see.
Can't sit next to Kamala Harris without his wife being there.
I want to see Mike Pence going back and forth with Kamala Harris. I want to see that. I want to see that again. So the first debate is going to be September 29th.
You're just stupid.
Oh shit! It's on a Tuesday. Gosh dang it! You can't freaking. It's going to be
Tuesday.
It's going to be on freaking.
Hey, we could always do the Monday edition on a Tuesday.
No, because we have CQ. CQ's doing his show on Pop
Culture Warrior. Right. Damn it, CQ.
And then the vice presidential.
So awesome with your engagement.
Yeah, and then the vice presidential debate is going to be on a Wednesday, October 7th, and then the second presidential debate is going to be October 15th during Sergeant's time, and the third one during Sergeant's time, October 22nd. The commission.
For that one.
The Commission on Presidential Debates announced additional details about the 2020 general election, including format and moderators in 2020. All debates will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Moderators aren't some news outlet person because they get all douchey and high and mighty, no matter who they're talking to.
I think we should do it.
Well, Mr. Biden.
I think we should do it.
Fuck off.
Well, we'll just have like one of our other hosts. We have Pookie or Radar, ask some questions or some shit like that, and then.
I think they should let us be moderators.
Yeah, or we could do it. Yeah, we offered to do it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Our country is literally on fire, figuratively and literally.
Bro, tell me about
it. Hey, shout out to all the National Guard and firefighters out there in California trying to contain that wildfire.
Oh my God, I know, dude.
Y'all are kicking ass. We appreciate you. You're awesome. Please stay safe.
Definitely.
Yeah. We make California and wish the place would just kind of like fall off into the sea and make Nevada like beachfront property.
You're on
the shit you're doing your country and your state a fucking awesome service.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll today, bro. You're on fire.
You're on fire.
You're on fire. No pun intended. So real quick, we got a few minutes for your sports page, man. So what's going on? Are we sports paging tonight, or did you have your?
There's still sports.
Oh,
weirdly enough, there are still sports.
Go for it.
So football may not happen.
Why'd you hesitate? What was that?
Because I was thinking of which storyline do I want to go with first.
Right. Go ahead, man.
We're going to start with football. There's not really much. There's a lot of training camps. They're trying to keep themselves as contained as possible. We're not seeing a lot of COVID cases pop up with these folks. They're doing their damnedest to stay out of trouble and everything like that. Looks like, a lot of these, we should have already had, we should have already had preseason games, which we haven't. It looks like the first game will be September 10th on a Thursday. We got the Houston Texans at Kansas City Chiefs. The reigning Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs.
Anyways, continue.
We'll see what happens with that though, because there are a lot of people thinking that this is just not going to happen, or they might take out the first two games for preseason or something. We're going to keep in tune on what's going on with that. Still, it's been a little weird. But they're out there training and stuff. People are making some signings and doing their whole football thing. Don't forget Madden 21 is up and running, and people are saying it's not as good as Madden 20. And fantasy football might be kind of fucking crazy, so good luck with that. Going on to baseball. Baseball's still happening. Many of these major league teams have pushed past the COVID hits they were taking. The last group was the St. Louis Cardinals, who, weirdly enough, haven't had any more cases and are looking good. Today was the trade deadline. A lot of moving pieces, too many to really count for the, I don't want to just dive deep because other things I want to talk about. But some big moves, the San Diego Padres making some of the biggest moves, showing up to the Dodgers that they're here to stay and could come down to a National League showdown between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Diego Padres, who have bolstered with Corey Clevenger, or Tommy Clevenger, Corey or Tommy, I have to look it up, from an amazing right-hand pitcher from the Cleveland Indians. They got him in a trade, which is probably one of the best moves this season, in my opinion, because he definitely shores up the Padres starting rotation and gives an already venomous damn lineup just a little bit more, a little extra to it. Looking at the standings, Tampa Bay Rays leading the God damn, they got the best.
Really?
Do they really? Yeah, 24-11. They're Tampa Bay Rays are killing it. Neither Tampa Bay Rays
they'll lose to the Texas Rangers like they always do. But go ahead.
Well, neither the Tampa Bay Rays and New York Yankees made any kinds of real trades. New York Yankees made a kind of a reliever for reliever swap, kind of traded a right-hander for a left-hander. But that's been about it. And Tampa Bay Rays which is weird because even though the Tampa Bay Rays thinks they can get through with the team they have, which is currently leading the Yankees 5-1 in the top of the eighth, have a very deep minor league system. But they decided not to pull the trigger on any immediate help because they think they're good to go. With a record 24-11, it's hard to argue against that. Yankees did come off a 7-game losing streak to win 3 games in a row, including 2 doubleheaders over the weekend against the Mets. Holy crap! And they got plenty of doubleheaders coming up because it looks like they're not going to have any more days off unless something crazy happens. Then Toronto, Baltimore, and the Red Sox. Toronto Blue Jays still staying close, 18-15. Baltimore Orioles, they're under that 500, but 15-19, not so bad. Boston Red Sox, they sold off some peaches. Mitch Moreland was one of the pieces they were able to sell off, and for I think it was an infielder and a pitcher, some minor league folks, but they're 12-22 and going nowhere.
Damn.
In the Central, Cleveland Indians. 21-13, Chicago White Sox 21-13, Minnesota Twins 20-15. You also have to remember about this season. Not only is it only 60 games, but it's expanded playoffs. So while we look at the Central as you have the Indians, White Sox, and Twins who all have really good records right now. There's a chance that even though the top of the division would get in, and you have the 2 wild cards that would battle it out, they're actually added a team. So as of right now, as of right now, the Tampa Bay Rays would win the East, the Indians would win the Central, the Oakland Athletics would win the West, and it looks like in the wild card spots would be New York Yankees, Chicago White Sox, and Minnesota Twins. Holy crap. Detroit Tigers 16-16, Kansas City Royals 13-21. Like I mentioned, Oakland Athletics 22-12. Houston Astros are, weirdly enough, when you don't know what's coming at you, they're not playing as well, but still playing decent enough because they do have a great team over there. They're 19-14. Seattle Mariners 15-22. Texas Rangers 12-21. And even though they signed the man Trout for almost $500 million.
God, I can't.
12-24, and everyone was waiting to see if they were going to, try to sell off that contract to see if they can't rebuild their whole team.
How does it? And it's turning out what, that he's sucking?
I mean, Mike Trout's still Mike Trout. He still plays good, but
the team is sucking though.
Yeah, the team Mike Trout. Let's see, he's got 32 runs batted in. He's got 12 home runs. I mean, so he's leading in home runs, leading in runs batted in. The man is just awesome. He's a great outfielder. He's already made some incredible catches. The problem is one man cannot. It always reminds me of Untouchables, where Robert De Niro, who's playing Capone, is talking. After they raided the mail room and found all the whiskey and whatnot, and they're talking about team. He's like, when you're out in the field, you're part of a team. He could do his individual achievements when he's at the plate, but he can't do it if no one else can get him across home pace.
Right.
And if the pitching sucks, he can only catch what comes to him. So I mean, bless Trout's heart, but he's going to be on a shitty team until finally somebody sells off his contract, and it might be too late for him to actually get on a good team.
Right.
Looking at the National League, Atlanta Braves 19-14, Miami Marlins. I know Miami Marlins 13-15. I know they're keeping it 500.
Wow.
Philadelphia Phillies 14-15. Mets are 15-20, and Washington Nationals, the reigning champions, are 12-19. But before you go and scoff at the Nationals, remember they had 3 or 4 people who decided to sit out the season, who were on the championship team, like starters, decided to sit out the season because of COVID, and they did not want to. They just were like, "Hey, I'm going to sit out."
Just ended.
There was tempered expectations for the Washington Nationals, anyways. Chicago Cubs 20-14, St. Louis Cardinals 12-13. Cubs, they're running away with the Central. Milwaukee Brewers 15-18, Cincinnati Reds 15-19, and the Pittsburgh Pirates 10-21. The team that comes up with some good stuff, and the Los Angeles Dodgers 26-10. Damn. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They are just killing it. San Diego
that's some good run for them right now.
San Diego Padres 21-15. They're not that far behind, but kind of far behind. Colorado Rockies 17-17. San Francisco Giants 17-19, and Arizona Diamondbacks, who also sold off a bunch of pieces, 14-21.
Man, damn! I would have thought that. Someone during the controversial moments of the walking off and boycotting and stuff like that would affect the sports.
Now, sports is still going to sports. Weird as that sounds,
Yeah.
They know they have to. They're still. I won't say sports is a way for. I guess I will say sports is a way to get people's minds off of things.
Right.
I was. We were playing. And see how I say it. The Yankees were playing the Mets. And, I'm sitting there and I'm hooting and hollering. I'm like, hell yeah, that's like, I'm like, yeah, good eye. My wife's like, they can't hear you. I'm like, I don't care. They can feel my energy. It's escape, and that's why, but speaking of sports it being issues, in our society, we've had a lot of issues, including the shooting of Jacob Blake.
Yeah.
That's his name. Jacob Blake up north. And, which they're still trying to investigate and all that stuff. I won't speculate on any of that stuff, but it's taking a hit on sports, including several teams, including baseball teams. Dang it, I can't remember who they were. 2 teams. I think they were California teams. I believe it was the Dodgers and the Pirates or something like that. or can it be the Dodgers and Pirates? But anyways, two teams actually came out. They did a moment of silence, and then they left the field, and they decided not to play. Like, they just up and said they didn't want to play. And then moving into the NBA, the same thing happened. Several teams sat out their Game 5s in the playoffs because they're like, we're going to protest this. So much so that the Lakers and the Clippers decided they were done with the NBA playoffs altogether. But LeBron and Chris Paul, big names on the different teams, had a talk with former President Barack Obama, who said that they should play and use this as a platform. Don't know if they're actually. I'm gonna have to read and see, but it's kind of taking a hit. You've seen the NBA trying to accommodate the players as much as possible. They're allowed to wear jerseys that have their political social justice messages and stuff like that. Which, hey, I think it's cool. Go for it. But they're still out there playing. Right now we have the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Miami Heat. Not a really great game, right? But that should be kicking off pretty soon in the Eastern Conference. We're looking, actually, they're playing right now. So Game 1 of that series is happening actually right now. It started at 6:30 p.m. Today. So let's see. Maybe it'll pop up. I'm on the wrong window. Hold, please. Your call is very important to us. Game of that series, well, shit. He's taking on the Bucks, 115 to 104. It looks like they're not the only game. They're not the only game to play. Game 1 also for the Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder, formerly Seattle Seahawks. Remember that? The Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
Or no, Seattle Sonics. Whew, Seahawks are still there. Seahawks fans are getting really mad. But the Seattle Sonics, I remember them. And then the Houston Rockets. So you need too many names and stuff. It's going to throw me up. Right now it's 16-15 and game.
You just sound like you're like a fucking duck swimming back in water, dude, with all these sports talking again, man.
There's so much, and it's all like this shit should have been done already.
Right.
The Raptors. Of course, my Patriots decided to refresh. Toronto Raptors versus the Boston Celtics. Right now, Boston Celtics have a 1-game lead on that, with Game 2 happening tomorrow. With the Lakers, it looks like the Lakers will play. Oh wait, that's interesting. I guess that game's over. That series in the Western Conference, the Lakers beat the Trailblazers 4-1 and knocked them out of the playoffs. You have the Los Angeles Clippers defeating the Dallas Mavericks 4-2.
That's crazy to hear about the Clippers doing so well. Back in the day,
and once they got Chris Paul over there,
I was about to say,
they've really been they've been scoring a lot of points. I mean, looking at it, 118 to 110, 130 to 122. The defense could use some work. Clippers on Game 5, 154 versus 111 by the Dallas Mavericks, and then in a closer and more defense-oriented game on Game 6, Clippers 111 against Mavericks 97. Those are some high scoring games. Usually they hit around 100 or so, but like 154. Clippers need to start playing some defense, so they're not going to make it very far. Denver Nuggets right now are tied with the Utah Jazz, 3-3. Looks like Game 7 is tomorrow night, 8:30 on ABC. For those who want to watch that. Damn, Denver Nuggets, that'd be a good one. But I think the Utah Jazz is going to take that. We already talked about Rockets playing the Oklahoma City Thunder and currently lead tonight. And if there's Game 7, if they push for Game 7, that will be on September 2nd. And outside of that, that's the NBA now. There's the only thing that hasn't been really talked about is, while everyone's been talking a lot of inclusion and stuff like that, the NHL has been very quiet about it. So much so that people have actually been talking about putting money, the NHL should put money into diversifying, meaning, helping, let's be honest. Hockey is a very one demographic sport. Not entirely, but, there's definitely a swing of one way to the other. You're damn Canadians. That's what we're talking about.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
anyways, they're talking about how they can bring more diversity and inclusion into hockey, which I think would be kind of cool to see. I don't know how they're going to implement that because you could put a basketball hoop on the side of a garage and play basketball. You can't really do that with ice hockey, but so they're working towards that. So that's one of the big things right now is kind of with that. Now there's a chance for a double elimination game tonight. The Bruins and Avalanche are both on the brink of getting kicked out. Will the Lightning and the Tampa Bay Lightning and Dallas Stars take them out? We're going to see it later tonight. Most of the games should probably come to a close soon.
Yeah, the Lightning's been doing pretty good too. They had a good record.
Yeah, I mean sports is still happening. So sports out there. There's been a lot of stories. But here's the kicker: all of it's COVID related. I mean, people who decide they want to play, they're not going to play. Big names getting sick. Damn it! I hate soccer so much. Actually, I don't really. I hate
why not being inclusive on the soccer now? I don't think we've ever covered it.
Oh, there's only one big thing to talk about is Messi, Lionel Messi, who apparently is on the hook, like had this big contract on the hook where after 3 years he would then be pretty much turned over to a Major League Soccer team, that's a U.S. soccer league,
right?
Play in the U.S. after 3 years. So that's kind of a big name because they don't know exactly who. They think it's going to go to like the New York Red Bulls or something like that. But that's kind of like the only big thing out of there. I'm still waiting for the next World Cup. And there's talks, just kind of to finish out the sports page, there are talks that the Olympics might not happen this year and they're just going to skip it.
Wow.
Citing worries about COVID containment and audiences and stuff like that. They are in talks right now because they said, if we can't do it this time, remember the Summer Olympics were canceled this year because of fucking COVID, because that bitch in 2020. So there's talk, they had moved it to the right into 2021, but if COVID issues are still a big thing in the world,
then we'll see how the election rolls.
Yeah. Who was it? I think it was uncle of mine who was like, don't worry, after November 4th, you're not going to hear of COVID.
Right, exactly.
I was like, well, shit.
Well, I mean, actually, you're starting to see more of a lack of care when it comes to social distancing now. You're having a lot of, you're having protests, you're having riots, you're having.
Speaking of lack of social distancing, I'll figure out this will be my last note. Usain Bolt tested positive for COVID, apparently after having a big house party to celebrate his birthday or something.
That's what I'm talking about.
He ended up with COVID.
Well, what was even funnier? It was that the news reports had a picture of Kevin Hart in place of Usain Bolt, who is the world's fastest man. Not Kevin Hart, Usain Bolt.
Kevin Hart's got the little nub legs. He can go that fast.
You're on a roll tonight.
Hey, I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah, I'm about to say. So you done with the sports page?
There's so much, but I'm going to say I'm done with the sports page because, Bruins to Lightning 2-2. We just talked about that's an elimination game. And it's the end of the third period. Sorry. So they're going to go into to overtime, and then the Stars and Avalanche have just kicked off. They're right now only a couple minutes into the first period. I have to remember period. There's so many different. My wife is at all that I can remember all the different periods and innings and halves and like quarters and blah blah blah. Fucking.
That's why you do the sports page. So I'm going to go ahead and do housekeeping.
I need to drink more, apparently. This is so much.
No, I had to stop because my lips are going numb. I was like, man, this is some good. I'm sipping as you're talking, and I'm thinking, man, this is some good drink. This is some good drink. Jack and Coke. Yeah, this is some good. And I'm thinking, are my lips numb? So I just had to kind of slow down a little bit. But for housekeeping, tomorrow on Pop Culture Warrior. Okay, so y'all know we had Rod Lurie on here from the director of The Outpost. Well, Army veteran Jericho Denman and Daniel Rodriguez will be on Pop Culture Warrior tomorrow to talk about what they did, what their role was. Jericho Denman was the movie's military advisor, and Daniel Rodriguez played Daniel Rodriguez. If you guys didn't know what was up about The Outpost or missed all the posts and promos about it, The Outpost is a movie about the Afghanistan war. During several outposts were placed to control the Taliban movement and their supply chain. Camp Keating, situated in the valley, surrounded by mountains, was one of them. And while being shut out by the towns as business as usual, they tried to gain respect from the local village elders and have them help stop these skirmishes. And then one day, 400 Taliban's and fighters, insurgents, what do you want to call them, rallied for a surprise attack, and it was up to them to leverage the defenses and lack of ammo and manpower, resulting in 2 Medal of Honor recipients. So, yeah, Jericho Denman, Daniel Rodriguez, we just like knocking out of the park with these guests, man. I can't wait what the next cut sheet's going to be, because there's some other stuff happening too. We have some other projects. That's why I said don't fucking crack on Glenn Beck for right now. We can break balls with him and shit, but don't call him names. He's we can break balls with him. That's about it.
Fuck that guy.
Come on, dude. We're trying to get him on here for something else, and you're like, fuck that guy.
Hey, I'll still let him on the show, and then when I'm like, you're stupid, right?
He would be more than happy to engage you, I think. It'd be no big deal.
He would. I actually think he would.
I think it'd be fun.
As much as I want to bust on him, I know he would actually be like, okay, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh, he'd come back with some. He'd drop some knowledge on you too about some stuff too. I think it'd be fun to talk to him on the show.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
Anyways, everybody. So we got some bad news. And it's up to me to go ahead as station manager to tell you what's going on. The Owl is no longer with us. He has resigned. He's no longer
He's gone for the night.
He is no longer a host on a WTF Nation Radio or part of the U.S. Army WTF Moments team. There's no bad blood. He's still a friend of the station, so don't everyone freak out thinking something happened. He's still around kicking it and doing his Owl stuff. He's just decided to move on to other endeavors. So with that, there's going to be some programming modifications and stuff like that, and we'll figure out, and of course we will post all on our platforms on what's happening next. So right now we're only going to have a show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to have three shows. We might have a weekend show or something like that. I might just jump on, flip some switches, test some new tech or something like that. Me and CQ are going to be testing some tech pretty soon. And you're going to see you might see me on camera. You're going to see him on camera. You're going to see backdrops and green screens and all that. So you're going to see me and CQ goofing off back and forth on the tech. And it could be at any time. But always, no matter what, the shows are going to be at 2000 Eastern Standard Time. So for right now, it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then we will have, of course, programming updates as we get them. So, again, thank you all so much for hanging out tonight. You got anything else you want to say, Flash?
Nah. Hey, look. If the second lieutenant's going to be an example of anything, it's how not to act and how we need to treat each other and our fellow human beings. We don't have to like each other all the time, but we can at least respect the fact that people have died because of horrible people, and we should not stoop ourselves to being that, especially when we're trying to be leaders of men and women. Please do not be like the second lieutenant. Make sure you're being good on your social medias well enough, or at least have those really good anonymous accounts, because you don't want to get fired for something stupid. But what helps even more is just if you start to think, maybe I'm being a douche, you probably are, and you should maybe stop. Maybe the world would be a little better if we took the time to be a little nicer to each other, smile a little bit more, and wear your fucking mask so I could stop wearing my mask when this is all fucking over.
Don't forget, meme warfare is a regular warfare. So with that, thank you all for listening tonight on this edition of the Monday edition, broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence this 31 August 2020. So y'all have a good night. Space Force!
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
surveyed the universe and said, let's make all of this our own. He commissioned a group of soldiers to take upon their shoulders a daunting task of relentless fear to make conquest of the last frontier. Now here we are enlisted for the glory of our nation. To say that we're the best would be an under-exaggeration. Prepared for combat with an alien race to kick their asses right in the face. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. They say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport, now sit back, relax, and watch us through the bubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planet of America. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space Force.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.